is a world apart from the one which we once knew, and from this other side I can see things clear and true. And if I could reach out, I'd touch you once again and make you understand there's no need to feel the pain. I wish I could explain that I'm with you every day, and there's no reason why you should cry your life away. Perhaps one day you'll see that I'm still right here with you. You'll wake up and suddenly you'll start your life anew. Give me a sign if you hear me. One little smile would reassure me. Reach for me and you'll feel, call to me and you'll hear. I may have gone, but I'm still right here beside you. And wherever you go, let your happiness show. And remember, I love you. The night that I left you, you broke right down and cried, but I never really went away. I just came to the other side. Perhaps one day you'll see that I'm still right here with you. You'll wake up and suddenly you'll start your life anew. Give me a sign if you hear me. One little smile would reassure me. Reach for me and you'll feel, call to me and you will hear. I may have gone, but I'm still right here beside you. And wherever you go, let your happiness show. And remember, I love you. There'll be sunshine in the sky, and you'll feel the morning dew, and the birds that are singing everywhere are singing just for you. Till then I'll stay with you. I'll always be right here. You only had to call my name and your tears will disappear. I wish you happiness and hope one day you'll find another one to take my place and bring you peace of mind. Reach for me and you'll feel, call to me and you'll hear. I may have gone, but I'm still right here beside you. And wherever you go, let your happiness show, and remember, I love you.
It was 6 months before he passed, 7 months before he passed his 60th birthday. And he said one of the best things I'd ever done for him was do this surprise party for him. It was a surprise party, and it was 60 friends in a restaurant that I booked. He totally had no clue about it. And everybody, all his friends, asked him to sing a song. And for all the songs that he'd written in his life, because he used to write a lot of music, not for public use, but just for us to sing at home with the family. And one of the songs he wrote was called The Other Side. And of all the songs, he chose that one. And The Other Side was all about dying. Now, this was a man, he wrote this song when he passed at 60. He wrote this song when he was maybe 30. And he hated to talk about death and dying. And when he wrote this song at 30, and he let me listen to it, and I go, how come you're writing a song about dying when you are so scared about dying? And he said, I don't know, darling. I just wrote it. And I said, it's so interesting because the words are, the night that I left you, you broke right down and cried. But I never really went away. I just came to the other side. He died in the evening at exactly 20 to 9. How did he know he was going to die at that time? You know, why did he sing this of all the songs on his actual birthday, 60th birthday? What I'm trying to show you, and he left me this beautiful memory. Don't you think it's great? What a lovely memory. My daughter put that clip together on the anniversary of his first death, which was 2009, 23rd of December. And she gave that to me as a gift. And of course, I watched it, cried and cried for days till I got it out of my system. And the reason why I've shown this to you is death and dying is so frightening for everyone. And it's so, you feel that you will, there's guilt involved, there's fear involved, there's loneliness involved. There is so many different emotions involved. I think for me the biggest emotion at that time was I felt that somebody had taken my soul and cut it into half, and half of me was gone. I didn't know who I was. I'd lived with this man for 34 years. Who is Nalanie? I thought I didn't know her anymore. In conjunction, of course, there's feelings like you want to die. What is the point of your living anymore? Does it make sense? I thought I've done enough for the world. I'm not scared of death. Let me go. Of course, it's not so easy to die, is it? It isn't. You can't go. And of course, with this yoga science, I knew that these thoughts were normal. These thoughts were absolutely normal because prior to my husband dying, I need to thank all those wonderful people who came to my life and experienced death way before me, because they taught me the different stages of suffering. They taught me about what happened to you when you lost somebody you loved, something tragic, traumatic. And one of the things that happened to me immediately after the passing was memory loss. I'd lose keys, I'd leave the iron on, I'd leave the cooker on. So normal. And I knew it was normal, so I didn't think I was getting dementia, because I had seen people who had got this again. They go, a memory loss. I saw memory loss with death because of the pain, the trauma. When you have a trauma and accident, this also happens, all right? So it's normal. When you know it's normal, it's not so frightening anymore. You can deal with your emotions. The pain is the pain, and you cannot escape that. I'm really sorry to tell everybody who's lost someone. You have to go through the pain. I talked about the children's story a couple of weeks ago, which my granddaughter read to my other granddaughter, and I was listening, and it's really like this. You can't go over it. You can't pretend it's not there. You can't go under it. You can't drown, because you lose everything if you drown. Because if you drown, you not only lose the person you've already lost, you lose everybody else, your family, your children, your grandchildren. So you can't go under it. You can't pretend, oh, I'm super cool, because that's lying, but you have to go through it. You have to go through the pain. And most of us are not used to going through pain. And why aren't we used to this? Because we're not taught in schools. This is a big mistake. We are not taught that from the moment we are born, we know, what's our last step? All of us. What's your last step on this earth? Death. Anyone, have you known anyone to escape it? Nobody escapes death. Nobody. And having knowledge of it, talking about it, accepting the pain, not blaming, and not taking the guilt. Was it me? How did I treat this person? Or why did I do it this way? To avoid all of that, may I suggest one thing? Just be nice to everyone. At least when they go, you have no regrets, because I see a lot of people who, after their partners die especially, or somebody they love, the mother, or, I had a young girl come to see me a few years ago. She lost her mom, and her pain was, her mom was a nag, darling, do this, and do this. And she said to me, her pain was that she knew her mom loved her, but she just scolded her mom all the time, telling her mom, oh, you're always nagging me, you're always telling me what to do. And then when her mother died suddenly with a massive heart attack, it was a shock for her. And her pain was that she didn't tell mom I loved her. I didn't tell mom, thank you for looking after me. I just told mom that stop nagging me and you're always shouting at me. And I was rude to my mom. How is she ever going to live this down? And that was her guilt, and that was her pain. And then she walked in here and I said, you didn't know, you didn't understand, you weren't taught. And we spent a few months teaching her to speak to her mom. I'm not a psychic, but when somebody dies, I know they stay in your heart forever. So those who worry about, will I forget my best friend? Will I forget my wife? Will I forget my husband? Will I forget my granddad? Never, never, never. You can fall in love again, because I have. And I didn't even think I would ever do that. So who knows what God sends you. I was quite happy, like I said, to go, and you just don't know what's around the corner. All I knew after my husband passed, that my kids had gone through enough. My daughter just had a special needs child, the third one. My son had just moved to Hong Kong and he was thinking, Mom, how can I leave you alone? My daughter was worried about me. So I thought, if I didn't get through this pain, they wouldn't move on. Because if I don't move on, they won't move on. So thank God for the yogic teachings, because to be selfless actually takes you out of trouble. So I didn't wallow in my sadness and my loneliness. I just accept it's going to be extremely painful, and everybody, yes, it is extremely painful. Will you get through it? You will get through it. Which is the worst time? The first year. Memories. Today will be a hard day for Julio. Birthdays, anniversary, kids' birthdays, grandkids' birthdays, because that's when the family spend time together, or your best friend spends time with you on those special occasions. They will hurt. Tell yourself, this is normal. This is normal. What should we do instead? Celebrate. See, that video is beautiful. We celebrated his life, the love, the joy. Every 23rd of December, my husband loved jamón ibérico. I'm a vegetarian. And he liked his glass of whiskey. So every 23rd of December, I don't have those things. Both my children do. So they tell me, oh, Mom, Shani was like, I'm going out with Andrew to have that because I know you won't eat that. And my son calls me from Hong Kong, we're doing this for Dad, because I know you won't eat that. And I'm doing my nice puja with Les, a little prayer ceremony with my husband's photo there, and pray for his soul and light. That's all we can do. You don't have to worry about forgetting. You cannot. Anybody who's been in your life that you have loved will always be in your heart that you love. But they take an expansion that is beyond your understanding. When we overgrieve, our master used to say to us, and I'm very grateful to him, and even the Buddhist book, Tibetan Book of Living and Dying. Any of you read it? Oh, please do. It's amazing. It's amazing. It's got a lot of Tibetan jargon in it, which you can just ignore. But the chapter on helping the dying and, the different bardos, they talk about the different levels that you go after you die. There's a lot of stuff. You don't need to know that. What you need, it's a brilliant book because it shows the progression of the soul, what happens to the soul. And of course, again and again and again, every Tuesday and Wednesday, I keep saying the same thing. We are soul, we are spirit. We came as spirit into the body to occupy the body, and we will leave the body. It's just a vehicle. It's just a car. We're all going to leave. The important thing is how to live. And so many of us are so debilitated by the pain of losing somebody you love that we no longer function well in the world. We no longer function because we drown in our pain. And then, things like, I really think I would love to die, kind of fills the head. And if you allow that thought to go deep within you as you think, but it's not easy to die. What will happen is you will develop arthritis, you'll get neck pain, you'll start to eat less, you start to get sick, and that's not really a nice situation. So the only thing you have to do is go through it and get over it. Over it, not in the sense you will never get over the loss, because you will always remember the loss, but you will get over it in the sense that you will understand that life is this way. Dana lost her mom very young. She suffered a lot with it. Not only did she suffer with it, everybody knows, right, about your mom? Yeah, everybody, not only did she suffer with it, she developed the fear with it, watching her mom go through the cancer and suffered so much. So she had all that memory of her mom suffering and then dying. And that memory of pain stayed with her so much that she kept on feeling that she was going to get the same thing, and the same thing was happening to her because the over-grieving, and there was nobody there to counsel her at that time and tell, no, Dana, you're not your mom. No, Dana, it's okay. You're not alone. Your mom will always be with you. See, when there's nobody to tell you these things, you can sink into heavy depression and heavy pain for many years. And that way, not living the full life that you have to live. We have to live. They left, and we have to honor their death because they left because there was something we had to do without them. Don't you understand? When we insult them by over-grieving, they are there flying. What are we? Space, full of atoms, And so once we lose the body, we are time and space. We are everywhere, And there are different dimensions. And these Buddhist books and these other books on death and dying speak about you go where your mind is at that time. And if you are in not a good place with the mind, the people that you love on this earth can help you along. And we're supposed to help them along and not drag them back. We can help them along with prayers, and of course they can feel our pain, and of course they cannot leave us until we are healed. So if we really love somebody, what is the song? If you love her, let her go. Right? If you love her, let her go. Now, the letting go takes time. This is what we have to understand. It's not going to happen overnight. And the first year is the hardest. But the second, third, fourth, fifth year, there may be days that you will get up and suddenly there's this pain in your heart. And you go, I thought I did it. But then if you understand it, you go, it's normal. I'm human. I miss this person. I'm human. It's okay. No need to dwell on it. No need to go over poor me syndrome, because who hasn't faced death? There was a lady who went up to Buddha when her baby died 6 months after being born. And she went to Buddha and she said, Buddha, I know you can heal. I know you can heal everyone. I know you can bring this baby back to life if you really want to. Please bring my baby life. I want my baby back. I want my baby back. Screaming, shouting. He said, I'll make you a deal. I'll make you a deal right now. You go to the village and you find one house where there's been no death, and I will bring your baby back to life. So she thought, easy? So she knocks on one door. Oh, has there been a death in this house? Oh, my grandmother died. Has there been in this house? Yes, my 5-year-old died. Has there been a death in this house? My sister passed. Has there been? And this was every single house. And by the end of that, she just realized, oh my God, death exists for all of us. So she went back to Buddha with a heavy heart, and she said, Buddha, we all die. I won't ask you to bring my child back to life. What I want to ask you now is teach me how to live after this pain. Teach me how to live. And she became Buddha's disciple. And death is a scary word to most of us because we think we're going to be immortal. Don't you think so? Don't most people think they're going to be immortal? We just think it's never going to happen to us. It happens to the person next door. And we hear about a death and then we go, oh, I'm so sorry. Oh my God. And when my husband died, I didn't even know the meaning of pain. And I promised myself when somebody lost a spouse, I'm not going to go condescending and say to them, oh, get over it. Not easy to get over. Be strong. Oh my God, they don't know how much energy it takes from you to be strong. It's the hardest thing to do. You're taking every ounce of your prana, of your breath, to just survive one day. And they're saying, be strong. They haven't understood the meaning of pain. And it's okay. It's nobody's fault. It's just they haven't. Once you experience it, then you know it. And so when people go through this pain, I said, you know one thing nice about all of this horrible pain? Anybody else goes through it, you can truly be compassionate. And that's what they need. They don't need words. They just need love. They just need the holding of the hands. And they just need you to say, you know, this too shall pass. The pain will pass one day. It will pass. This extreme pain. When somebody dies, you know your limitations. There are certain things you can do, and there's certain things you can't do. I couldn't go to a big party, and ever since then I still don't like big parties because I just couldn't do it. So I just say no to people. It's just the way I am. I'll go out with close friends. I'll go out with 3 or 4 people. Don't give me a big party. I can't do it. So know your limitations. Nobody's going to ask you, oh, what's that and what you're going to feel. And it's you have to respect yourself and what you're going to go through at this time. Know your limitations and know who you want to be with. You just want to be with people who really are in the same kind of thinking, on the same energy length. You don't want to be with people on lower vibration because they'll just, whoa, oh, don't you know your mother did this and this one did this, and you don't want to be there. You want to be on a higher vibrational field, because when death hits you, everything seems surreal. And that's what our yogic scriptures say. We are living in Maya. It's an illusion. Everything is an illusion. We are holograms. But we think we are real. We think we're going to last forever. And that is the cause of our pain. And that is the cause of our suffering. And that's why we take all those little painful things that happen in our life and we think, it's happening to me. It's happening to everyone, my friends. We're not special. None of us are special. And yet we're so special in the love that we have experienced, in the joy of the relationship. And for me, the greatest healer was gratitude. Gratitude that I had a life with such a wonderful man. Gratitude that I had wonderful kids who could help me. Gratitude for the Sangha. They were amazing. And that time I was teaching in Spain, near Marbella. I was living there. And they were so kind. Every night they would bring dinner for me, because I moved my whole family home. I said, we all need to make peace with your dad. You need to tell him anything you need to have closure. So, but I had no energy to cook for everyone. So neither did my kids. We just had no energy. You know that. In pain, you have no strength left. You do what's necessary, change the nappy or clean the mouth or wash the body or give the medicine. That's all you're capable of doing because nothing else is important at that time. Nothing else is important. Nobody is important. Nothing is important. Just do the job beautifully as best as you can because this person's not going to be here anymore. And then that's all you can do. So somebody who brings you a plate of food and does the cooking for you, God bless their soul, they're your best friend on earth. And you know what? There were many. And the Sangha here as well, all the lovely video, you know what they did here? And this is where I love the feeling of, and Sangha means a group of people of like-minded thinking. Knowing we are all spiritual beings living in a material world. It doesn't mean just because we know that we are not going to experience pain. Lord Jesus knew, everybody knew he was divine, he still experienced pain. Do you see what I mean? So long as we have a body, we are going to experience pain. What it is learning to accept the pain, which we're so bad at doing. Accept that depression is part of the process. But I didn't go into depression, I can tell you that. I went into severe pain, but I didn't go into depression because of the knowledge of death. And because of the knowledge that I was holding, if I went into depression, I'm holding my husband back. Do you know, he died so beautifully, so peacefully, with all his family around him, all the mantras. Then all my good friends from Gibraltar came all the way 45 minutes away to Spain. I didn't even expect them there. Sat on the sofa and just was with me. But it was so beautiful the way he died. He died so beautiful. And my son-in-law, I asked him to put the tie and dress him. I cleaned him. My son helped me. It was so cool. Even the girls came in once we dressed him as the girls, to my daughter-in-law and my daughter, and my grandchildren too. I said, look, come and feel Granddad. Look, it's still your grand. He's gone. He's going to another dimension, another planet. We call it heaven. So that my grandchildren wouldn't be fearful of death. These are the things we can do. There are things, and when you do those things, and that's why we have the talk. So you remember these words, and if you do them when somebody in your life goes, at least it gives you the consolation that you did your best. Do you know what I'm saying? Now that's things, when we lose someone, and you feel, there are days you're going to feel that you really can't cope your pain, and this is where I was going to come to. My sister called me up 2 months after her husband died. Says, I'm going to the doctor, I'm getting a heart attack. I said, no, you're not. It's heartbreak. But you feel like it's a heart attack. I said, wait 24 hours. You're not getting a heart attack. It's so painful that it feels like a heart attack. But if you go to the doctor now, you're going to get ECGs. She was only, 48, I think. She was so much younger than I was. Yeah, she was 48 years old. Wasn't. I said, they're going to give you ECGs, then they're going to give you antidepressants, then they're going to give you this, and then you're going to give that. So not only do you have the pain of your husband's loss, you're going to have all these things to deal with. And that's the last thing you need right now, to go to the doctor's office, have ECG. You're all alone. Your husband just died. Your sons are too young. Who's going to be with you? I was worried. I said, just wait 24 hours. Waited 24 hours, call me back. She said, you're absolutely right. I said, that's heartbreak. That's why they call it heartbreak. We talk about the heart chakra in yoga philosophy. That's where you hold it all. That's why when you break up with a relationship, or you lose somebody, or somebody insults you and hurts you, where do you feel it? Right here. And of course, this is the heart chakra. It's connected to your arms, and that's why when you are suffering and you got heartbreak, you go like this. You close the world off. That's the last thing on earth you should do, is close the world off, because then you will go into a very dark, painful mind that will insist that you are miserable, and then you will get really depressed. And this is the time when you should be with, in your most painful moments, with somebody you really, really trust, a good friend, a child. You don't need to be with a lot of people. It's somebody who's felt the same emotion that you have, that understands, and that's what you need. That's the medicine you need at that time. And of course, you can't rush the process. You cannot rush the process. How many here have lost somebody? Yeah. So can you say, can you get up in the morning and say, I'm not going to feel any pain today? Any of you, can you do that? No, you can't. You just have to accept that you have to go through the pain.